In Zen, there is a teaching. The first arrow is the pain life brings. The second arrow is the pain we bring ourselves. By reliving it, replaying it, and carrying the past into the present, we still suffer from what happened 10 or 20 years ago, and it's totally unnecessary. Most of the suffering we experience isn't from what happened. It's from the way we're still interpreting it, from what we keep remembering, and from how we are still holding the past inside ourselves. It's the fear, it's the guilt, it's the misunderstanding that we have done something wrong or there's something wrong with us. It's the memory of self-punishment and the memory of the past that says, what if it happens again? Before we dive in, I want to invite you to subscribe, like, and comment. It's just a simple way to help spread a different kind of message, one of hope, clarity, peace, and kindness. I've also created a free 5-day Ho'oponopono gift, and I offer one-on-one sessions for those who want to go deeper. And you'll find all the links below in the description. And I'm really encouraging you to stay with me until the end, not just to get a full grasp of the subject, but because I'm also going to be sharing a very personal story about the years I spent in chronic pain and depression, and how by just seeing what was keeping the pain alive and forgiving it, the pain and the depression left and never came back. Today, I want to share with you not just why we suffer, but how we can finally be free. So let's begin. Life, by its very nature, involves pain. There isn't a single person who hasn't felt wounded, disappointed, unloved, unappreciated, or broken at some point. The first arrow is life happening. This is inevitable. The loss, the betrayal, when the you-know-what hits the fan. But the second arrow, now that's a different story. That's the one we fire ourselves. The second arrow is memory, reactivating the pain over and over again. We keep carrying the past forward. You're not suffering what happened. You're suffering the memory of it. That's a big difference. You're suffering the fear it left behind, the fearful voice that says, what if it happens again? It's not the event that's hurting you anymore. It's the reaction you're still rehearsing. We think that if we replay what happened, if we stay on guard, we'll protect ourselves. We think remembering will prepare us. We think again that fearing will somehow control what comes next. We think that if we stay wounded enough, we'll never be hurt again. But we have to look and discern. Does this memory actually protect me? Does it actually serve me? Holding onto the wound doesn't protect you. It only makes you live the injury over and over again. Fear doesn't prevent pain. Fear shrinks you. It makes you weaker and smaller. It magnifies what you're trying to heal. The very thing we believe will save us is the very thing that keeps us trapped. You're not guarding your peace by carrying fear. You're guarding your prison. And you cannot see freedom and the love and the life you desire if you're still protecting the cage. Healing begins the moment you realize you don't need to keep rehearsing what hurt you to be safe. You are safe right now, not because the world is perfect, but because you no longer need to carry the past like a security blanket. True protection doesn't come from bracing yourself constantly. It comes from loving yourself, from presence, from awareness, from peace, from knowing that whatever life brings, you have within you the very life force that knows how to move through it without struggle, without pain. Now that's freedom when you stop firing the second arrow. You see, your body knows how to heal if you don't interfere. If you just get out of the way, your body repairs itself naturally, effortlessly. It's built into the design. But the mind, if left unchecked, keeps firing arrows. It repeats the past over and over again in different situations. It keeps searching for causes outside itself and never realizing the real cause is within and totally made up. Your body is mechanical in nature. It was made to function and heal naturally. But the mind overlays fear, mistrust, and misperception and interrupts what is already whole. This is the pattern I want you to see. Your mind has become a victim to its own thoughts, and it's caught in a self-reinforcing loop and memory of blame, fear, and defense, and forgetting that the wound was never really out there. It was the memory of separation, of thinking and feeling that you're separate from love, from abundance, and from the power of creation. And so the suffering continues, not because life is cruel, but because unconscious memory has taken over the present. The mind has become separate from the now. And healing begins the moment we stop looking outward for someone or something to blame and start releasing inward, cleaning the memory, cleaning the fear, and returning to yourself. You think you have abandoned yourself, but you have not. Remember, you're not here to live wounded, to play small. You're here to live fully, to step into the life that no one else can live but only you, to express the beauty, your genius, your unique channel of light that only you can bring. You're here to remember you are never broken, only covered. And now you have the choice to uncover it, to be free and clear. But we all know that memory can be very tenacious and persistent. It doesn't just live as memory. It shows up in how your mind splits everything into past and future and forgets the gift of now. When your mind fixates on the past, we experience regret, resentment, and guilt. And when your mind projects into the future, we experience fear, anxiety, and dread. Both are memory overlays on the present, and both pull us out of the only place where healing can happen, right here and right now. And that split in your mind, that mental habit of fear, doesn't just stay in our heads. It gets projected and shows up in our bodies too. And I know this from experience. For about 3 years, I lived with chronic pain in my stomach. I saw all the doctors, all the specialists. I changed my diet. I tried every conceivable lifestyle change you could imagine. It was exhausting. And whenever I thought something worked and I felt better, immediately the doubt would creep in. What if it's only temporary? What if I'm destined to live in pain? What if the pain comes back? And sure enough, like clockwork, the fear would trigger panic attacks and the pain would return. At first, I thought it was the food, or my body betraying me, or that I was just not smart enough to understand my spiritual practice, or something else I hadn't figured out yet. But over time, when I really started to observe the workings of my mind, I began to see something deeper, a pattern. It wasn't the food. It wasn't even my body. It wasn't anything physical. It was the memory of fear replaying itself on automatic, and I was interpreting everything through fear. You know, I lived it. Fear isn't just an emotion that passes. It's an uncontrollable shaking on the inside, and it feeds your mind with endless imagination. It's like having one fearful thought, and suddenly you're having a nightmare from it. I realized I wasn't reacting to my body. I was reacting to my imagination, to the fear that fed it. The real suffering wasn't the pain. The real suffering was the fear of the pain. The fear of fear itself, the expectation, the imagination that something terrible was coming. And whether by grace or good luck, one day I saw it clearly. I saw that my fear wasn't protecting me. It was recreating exactly what I was trying so hard to avoid. And when I truly saw it, not just mentally, but deeply felt it, something awakened in me. I became less afraid of the pain. And when it would arise, instead of going into panic, I would say quietly to myself, this is just a memory replaying. I stopped making the pain mean something terrible. I stopped treating it like a prophecy. Instead, I began to welcome it, gently, openly. And the more I welcomed it without resistance, the less power it had over me. The fear would rise, and then it would pass more quickly. The pain would come, but without the story and resistance wrapped around it, it had nowhere to stay. The pain was never the enemy. The real prison was the belief that I was helpless, powerless to change my circumstances, and betting against myself. And over time, this new way of seeing, this inner response, became a skill, a practice, a way of living. Cleaning became an opportunity instead of a burden. The way I saw and related to pain changed. And whenever fear surfaced, I would gently reassure that part of me that's still afraid, my inner child. This is just a memory. We don't have to be afraid anymore. We can clean this, and we don't have to feel guilty for it. This is the truth that will set you free. When you see fear for what it is, a memory and not a reality, that's when healing begins. Because you cannot receive something new if your hands are full of the past. You know, healing doesn't come in the way the mind expects or according to some human timeline, but according to your willingness to receive it. Healing begins the moment you see that what you're holding onto has no value. And I want to be extra clear here. This doesn't mean you should reject medication, support, or anything that helps. You meet yourself where you are. That's loving yourself. That's kindness. That's love in action. Because it's not just what we're doing, but how we're holding our experience with love and with peace. Peace is not passivity. Peace and calmness is intelligence working for you. So what I'm really sharing is this. Real freedom doesn't come from fighting the symptoms, the effects. It comes from the way you're seeing it. So don't get absorbed with the thorns of memory that you overlook the beauty of the rose. There is no outside cause that holds power over you. There is no betrayal happening in your body. The root error is always mental. And what is mental and memory can be healed, not by force, not by fixing or managing the memory, but by the willingness, the acceptance, and the courage to see clearly. This is just memory, and it doesn't have to define me. And this is why Ho'oponopono is more than just a practice. It's a lifeline. It's a way of being that is simple, ordinary, steady, and joyous. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. These aren't just words. They are an energetic resonance that helps you to see clearly. Each phrase is a key, and it unlocks layers of memory, fear, expectation, guilt, defense, and resistance. You don't need to figure out the memory. Why? Because what you think the memory is about, the event, the person, the situation, the body, is just the surface. The real pattern beneath it is always the same. I'm just a body. I'm weak. I'm powerless. I'm separate. I'm fear. I'm pain. And I must protect myself constantly. This judgment of yourself is exhausting. And it takes a toll on you spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and physically because your experience is seamless. And this is why we call it yoga, union. So just trying to solve it mentally only strengthens the illusion. It keeps you spinning in the very story you're trying to escape. You don't need to fix your life. You don't need to fix you. You don't need to fix your mind or your thoughts. You just need to clean, to release, to forgive the past you're still carrying into today. And you will receive exactly what is right and perfect for you. You clean to return to zero. Zero is not some grand mystical state. It is simply this present moment, ordinary, clear, free of the weight of yesterday and a fear of tomorrow. So when you allow the fog of memory to lift from your mind, you don't suddenly see angels descending from the sky, though I'm not saying that couldn't happen. But most often, you simply see life as it actually is. You notice the smile of a stranger. You feel the warmth of the sun on your face. You see what you couldn't see earlier. You see the barista at the coffee shop who is so absorbed in his work that you're in love. Colors become more vibrant. You breathe easier. You see the humor, you see the beauty, the essence of everything without the story, without the armor, without the memory. You experience a quiet, unshakable knowing. Nothing is wrong here. Nothing is problematic. I'm already home. And this is the miracle, a shift in your perception, not the parting of oceans, but the parting of fear from vision. It is a shift in how you see yourself. I am my own starting point. The shift in how you relate to the world. The world is a mirror of my being. The shift in how you meet your relationships. Relationships become a way to share your joy instead of trying to milk them to make yourself feel better. Because all experience, all of it, is simply a mirror of your mind. And when you clean the mirror, you don't change the world. You see the world differently without the distortions of fear and guilt. And forgiveness offers you the key. Cleaning gives you the willingness and the courage to walk through it. So take the key, turn it, walk through. Peace begins when cleaning begins because they are one. So remember, you are already awake, except for believing a thought that says otherwise. Your pain is not your identity. Your guilt is not your soul. Your memories are not your truth. You were never broken. You are simply believing something that wasn't real. And the light in you has never gone out, not for a moment. This is a journey without distance, a journey from unwillingness to willingness, from woundedness to wisdom, from untruth to truth, from fear to love, from karma to yoga, and from data to zero. Take care, my friends. Until the next time.